Do you think that visit of Home Minister Amit Shah, you see that divide will be bridged? How much do you expect from this visit of Home Minister Amit Shah?
Amit Shah's visit is very disappointing because it comes too late in the day. And given that the Prime Minister has not opened his mouth till today, shows that the center does not seem, to be much bothered about the large-scale human tragedy that unraveled both in the valleys as well as in the hill areas, right? So the fact that these lines of debate are now open up in the hill areas become evident in the fact that the chief minister who tries to accompany the home minister is now not being allowed. In fact, there is a strong sense of opposition and resistance of the chief minister accompanying the Amit Shah, the home minister, as it were. So in that sense, I think it is a very difficult tightrope walking by the home minister, because as a part of protocol, the chief minister probably has to accompany the home minister. But given the conspicuous lack of trust and legitimacy that Biren Singh has, in effect, no longer enjoys in the hill areas, I think it's a very difficult proposition, and new fault lines are coming up. And it would, in effect, it would be very interesting to see how, the whole visit transpired in ways that a particular form of settlement is reached in ways that is acceptable to the hill areas. Because in effect, despite all this false propaganda and distorted narrative built around, it is evidently clear that the Kuki Zou communities in the hill areas had been at the receiving end of this, what I called, institutionalized riot system.
Well, there have been reports ever since the fresh outbreak of violence. It's about something which we have been discussing for a while now. It is about the kind of ethnic gulf which is widening by the day. Big relocation is on. People from the hill are going back to their places. People from the valley are going back to their places where they are in majority, and a kind of ghettoization that is taking place. How difficult that is for the state of Manipur, for the integrity of Manipur, about people who talk that come what may, the territorial integrity of the Manipur is not going to be compromised. This could very well prove to be one big unfestering wound as far as the state of Manipur is concerned. I'll ask General Sanjay Meston about it. Sir, we have this graphics being played on our screen, of how 7,472 Maitis migrated from the Hill district to the Imphal Valley. And more than 5,200 Kukis have left Imphal and surrounding areas since violence erupted on May 3. That people on the ground say that the numbers are much higher than what we are reporting, but we are going by the official number which has been given. Most Kukis have fled to areas where then majority, even the officials are doing the same. Maitis have returned from Kuki areas like Shura Chandpur to the Imphal Valley. How dangerous this situation could turn out, sir? This ghettoization and...
Yeah, absolutely. This situation is not desirable. People should coexist, live as two communities or ethnicities, and they have been coexisting. So firstly, it is possible that they can stay together. Now, this rumor mongering which has been going on, this firstly should be prevented, and there's a way to prevent it. Firstly, let the internet be there. Second is, I think there has to be stern announcements percolating down up to all level, up to the village level, that anyone spreading false rumors will be taken to task. He has to face the course of justice. After all, why I'm telling internet is required? Because people have to also continue with their economic activities. Today, most of the people are on internet, doing their transactions. They are running businesses. So imagine they are wounded that way also. No, economically also. Where do they go? So they are in a very, very bad situation. So these are small steps. So the ghettoization is actually very, very bad. It should not happen. And that is why I'm saying repeatedly that it is the people of Manipur who will give the solution. See, let me tell you, way back in 94, 95, as an Indian Army major, I was deployed in United Nations mission in Rwanda. I witnessed 1.5 million people being killed there. And it was a huge issue which has been going on there since last 500 years between two tribes. And those two tribes today are actually together. The whole system is absolutely fine. And there also, the tribal killing I have witnessed, I think that was one of the worst genocides in 94, 95. And it was awful. But today, the same country is doing exceedingly well. The people have been united. So unity is possible. Who will unite them? The people. But who has to take the initiative? The civil society people, the politicians, rather than blame game, etc. Sometimes politicians have to show maturity for the interest of the nation, for the interest of the people. After all, any politician, any bureaucrat, any armed forces person, we are all servants of the people of India. We are not supposed to be masters. If
True.
that fundamental is clear, then if people we keep in mind, as a soldier, I always kept the interest of my soldiers topmost paramount in my mind. And therefore, the soldiers, they start loving you, they can do everything in a correct way. But if you just show that you are an officer and you are above them, then I think the message is very different. Once you retire, they will not even look at you. So people of the administration there, the political class, including all politicians, they need to come together, assuage the feelings. Everything is possible. Deep distrust can be removed. It is possible. We should not look for solutions. I'm very glad that someone remarked, I think one of the Congress people, that the territorial integrity of Manipur should not be compromised. Absolutely. Otherwise, the easiest is tomorrow someone will come up, okay, ये दो tribes हैं, इनको अलग करो, एक area, give it to them, give some area to them. That is no solution. Solution is we make the people coexist. Possibility is there. Everything is possible. And I'm very optimistic that, and I've served in those areas, the people in most of the border areas of the country are actually very simple. Whether it is Rajasthan border, Punjab border, Manipur border, Nagaland, Mizoram border, they are very simple. They just, they have to be just assuaged. Someone has to touch their hearts and it will emerge. But if we have an officious approach, things will not work.
That's
If it is
very
just
very
driven
eloquently
down.
put, General Meston. I would also want to know, how see, since Manipur is a bordering state with Myanmar, how, I mean, how difficult is the situation going to be if the violence keeps on happening, and if we don't put an end to the violence pretty soon?
Yeah, situation is going to be bad. Firstly, let's be very clear. I think the CDS had also mentioned that once the situation had stabilized, we could have taken out a lot of troops and deployed them in the northern borders. Who's our prime enemy? It is China. Today, this entire situation suits China and Pakistan, both, because they are interested in destabilization of India. Any border state being affected actually is to their interest, not to our interest. So therefore, as a nation, people on the top, we need to come together and sort out this problem on top priority. And with Myanmar, I think we need to seal the borders. After all, there's a military junta there. It is easy to handle them. We have a defense attaché there. We have an ambassador, and we need to have exchange of talks. The military junta needs to be told we can't have refugees coming to India, and I think we need to have a very clear-cut policy. Our people are first. Myanmarese people are their problem. Why should we get them here? And yeah, another problem is the poppy cultivation. I think, the drugs and all, they should also be sorted out. We as a nation should not encourage, I would say we don't encourage, but we should be firm that no poppy cultivation should be allowed, even if it benefits this community or that ethnicity. Why should that be allowed? Because that again becomes a source of, then it leads to narco terrorism. And today, China would be doing many things. I remember when I was posted there, my first posting started in the Indian Army way back in 82 from same areas. I was in Ukrul where I saw the ambush of a Indian Army battalion. 21 people were killed. So those days one has seen who was doing everything. It was China. So they will send weapons. They will send all these people. The borders are quite porous to defend, to put barbed wire fencing and put entire everything along the Indo-Myanmar border. It's not an easy task. So therefore, if we keep the people united, China cannot do anything. So as on date, you have raised a very good question that it is a critical issue on the borders and it suits China and even Pakistan, because Pakistan's strategy is that India should be divided on ethnic lines, on religious lines, because that is what I remember one of the colonels had written a book, India, the Cauldron of Conflict. because they say India will just collapse on its own. No, India will not collapse on its own. We have got a strong national fiber. The people of India are very, very strong. They know what to do and what not to do. And the Indian armed forces, which is the bedrock of the nation, always comes to support it. But not only that, entire leadership, whether it is political leadership, the bureaucratic leadership, they should be above board and address the people, because we as leaders at any level, we are the servants of the people of country, and they are the
General
center of
Meston,
gravity.
General Meston,
So
I have one more question to ask before I go to Dada and then to Professor Swan. One thing is that, you spoke about crackdown on poppy cultivation and asking Myanmar to take care of Myanmaris. One of the critical narrative which is being built, and this is something which we have discussed with Dada and others, other panelists who have been part of this coverage, is that, in the name of crackdown on poppy cultivation, the target is somehow the Kuki tribes. Do you think that that the time has come for the government also to make a clear-cut demarcation that their crackdown on poppy cultivation is basically not a crackdown on Kuki community?
no, very true. It is not a crackdown on cookies by any chance. It is a crackdown on a system, because after all, drugs. Whom is it going to affect? It is firstly the locals. Do we have a Manipur people where they are just into drugs? Because I was in Afghanistan, I recollect, poppy cultivation and the drugs, the way this narco terrorism is taken, the entire funding of this is being done through the poppy cultivation. So it is not against any ethnicity that it is going to affect them. No, it's a national issue, and therefore we must address it. Why not? And the people have to be educated, because what the Manipuris like, their children, especially the cookies, that their children are taking drugs and being of no use to the nation. Look at Punjab, Pakistan. What is their agenda? They are inducting drugs, so that the people of Punjab are youth are into drugs, and that is why it hits the induction into the Indian Army today. The people of Punjab, what they were in my time, today you have very less people joining the armed forces. So drugs is an easy way of life. You get more money, and you are into a different world of imagination. So people are going. So again, education is the answer. Education by neutral people. In fact, more neutral people should be into Manipur, who understands. Send some neutral people, some good academicians. I can see in your channel itself. They are the ones who can meet the people, because they would like to hear different new voices, not a hierarchical voice which will only give solutions which is acceptable to them. So stakeholders getting neutral voice, these are the kind of things which is going to change the system. And drugs, I'm very clear, it is not going to, it's not the targeting of community. And last, the Myanmarese infiltration, why should we allow it?